the most important thing in all of this is just raising awareness. My mom is recently, she was a social worker for a very long time, but now she's taken a job in Salina, and what she does is grief counseling. Some of those programs, I mean, they're fantastic. Don't get me wrong. They're great. And just like with addiction or diabetes or whatever, everything works differently for everybody else. I think the one thing that bothers me is and I'm guilty of it too. I said gave up. I used that word, that verbiage. That's inappropriate, and I shouldn't have. But giving up is throwing your hands in the air. We can give up. We can have bad days. You're gonna struggle, but the making the victims of suicide, I guess you would call it the people that took their own lives, making them out to be bad people in some way. That shit makes me want to fight people. I mean, flat out. Because I'll tell you right now, the two losses that I've had are the two kindest souls you will ever meet on this planet. The awareness is there. It's getting better. But even I'm guilty of it. I've when I was going through my divorce, before I had all my issues, I actually sought out counseling on my own, paid for it out of pocket. And I'm sitting there in my counseling, in my therapy, and I'm still trying to bullshit my way through it. Quit it. We don't have to be big, strong men. We don't have to be. We don't have to be big, strong women. If it's affected you in any way at all, then I get that. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but just because somebody made an error in judgment, they made an error in judgment just like you turned on your left turn signal when you were trying to go right. All sin's the same. They just can't come back from theirs. A real good friend of mine, the gentleman that actually helped me get clean and sober, dragged me out of the situation I was in, put me in a sober living house, gave me work. One of the best things I've ever heard him say, or one of the best things I've ever heard anybody say, you can't unring a bell. You can't unring a bell. We need to, rather than being big, strong men, we need to say, I know I look rough and tumble, and I am. I'll fight anybody on the planet. I don't care. But I get my feelings hurt a lot. These are not us, but the generation of young men and young women raised behind us are a generation of realistically, they're a generation of young kids raised by women with no support. So a lot of these young boys, these young girls, are being raised by young women or older women, it doesn't matter, that are generally more nurturing. So we have it, and we can call them soft if you want, but what it is we're giving these kids an opportunity to be better than we were. When my 15, 16, 17-year-old, stepkids say, I got problems, I need to talk to you. Brush that off. You gotta take this shit seriously, man. It's not a joke. And the unfortunate side is sometimes it is, and sometimes it's a cry for help. It doesn't matter how many times you see that cry for help. You better call. This isn't a boy who cried wolf situation. It's somebody's life.